Yo, what's going on, guys? It is non-reality, and in today's video, we are revisiting Primal Giants Outpost. Now, this is basically a series I'm going to be doing where I'm basically just going to be going every single grind spot that's still relevant, and I'm going to be making it, is it worth, doing this grind spot in 2024? Now, some things we have to first get out of the way is, since this is a averaged out video of the grind spots, I'm going to say some grind spots, that maybe for some people aren't great. I'm still going to say they're good because obviously, you take Giants Outpost and you compare it to like, doing Crypt and tapping for Tet Devos. Obviously, that's going to be more profitable and better for end game players. But for an average game player that isn't at end game, Giant Outpost is an insanely good spot. So just so that clears up everything, so I don't have a bunch of comments saying you said this spot's good, it sucks. This is all comparable to an average of like the base player basically. So let's actually get into this grind spot. So what is Giants Outpost? Let's look it up real quick. So if you go over to where I just went, you can look up the actual rotation or the actual spots that you're going to be going to. Now, the Primal Giants Outpost is an Elvia spot, which means you do have to tick the little Elvia realm icon up here to actually get into the spot. And the spot is pretty simple. It's a 280, 380 spot. Now, it does have an AP cap, and I'm going to be posting, so that I don't have to cover in every video, I'm going to be posting an AP cap sheet and an Ager's Fever sheet in the description of every single video of these type of videos, just to get it out of the way. I don't have to go out of my way to say it exactly, but you can just look up it for every single spot, and it's very nice to have as well, so you guys can pin that or whatever you want to do with that to have it handy on you. Now, this spot is a great Ager's spot. You're going to be using about 38 to 40k Ager's here, and most of your loot is going to be coming from the actual trash loot. Obviously, you have some more rarer drops. You have the Crystallized Despair, which are sitting at 21 mil right now. I don't see those going many places as of right now. They've kind of tanked over the past year, and I think they're just going to be sitting around here until something happens with them. Obviously, you have the Scorching Sun Shards, which are actually being up in price. At least the last time I checked, they actually went up in price. There was a point where these wouldn't even sell, but now they are, so that's great. And then we obviously have the Blessed Soul Fragment, which someone in my last Primal Giants video was like, this is actually really common. I've gotten 2 of them. They are still not common. They are rarer than the Elton piece from Histria, still really rare. And then, once every like 3 to 4 hours, you're going to get a disto. Obviously, you can get more if you're lucky, but usually 3 to 4 hours is where I'm sitting at. Now, for the actual gear for this spot, now this is a human damage spot. So you're going to be wanting to run as much human damage as possible. So what I do personally is, so I'm Berserker, obviously shit class for PvE, but what I do, I throw on my Death Blow. That's usually what I run. You guys can run whatever you want for your class. I'm not going to touch too much on that. I run my normal PvE setup with the Kudum, but then for my crystals, I'm throwing on, so this is kind of my PvP set, because I actually don't have a human damage set right now, but I kind of want to explain. So basically, you're going to throw on things like Red Spirit Crystals, because they give more human damage. You got, the Crystal Addis for extra human damage. I think the Bongwon's tier does give human damage, if I'm correct, or maybe it doesn't. I think this is still a good one to run for straight up damage. Obviously, I'm still going to be running the Corrupted for the crit damage. We have it, the Red Battlefield Crystal Vipers, also giving a 10 human damage. So yeah, you're just going to want to stack as much human damage as possible, along with, a little bit of accuracy and some other useful damage. And then make sure you're buffed up. I'm personally not going to buff up because I've already finished grinding and I don't want to waste my time. So where I'm at on this map, so I'm actually at a different grind spot than I showed last time, because I think this one's just a lot better, and it also has a lot more options if you're over rotating. So this is exactly where I'm at. If you look at, the giant post emblem, it's kind of, if you go his head and then you go to the right, it's at the end of this tree right here near the lone tree in the middle. And then you're going to want to find this rock structure and park your horse and your tent up here on this area up here. Now for the actual rotation, it's pretty simple. Personally, now this obviously depends on class. This depends on if you have the buff that makes you do way more damage after killing the boss. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to start at this pack, and you're basically just going to be doing a circle. Whichever packs you kind of feel like you need to clear, or which class you're playing depends on which mobs you're pulling. If you can pull multiple packs, that's always great. If you can't, and you want to blow up packs one by one, you can also do that. So then I go over here, and then if I don't have any sort of buffs on from killing bosses or anything, I usually go here, then I go back over there, and I can usually lap back around their spawn. But if you have a bunch of buffs, because if you kill the boss in this area that spawns every once in a while, you can get a buff that does a lot more damage, and then you can come over here, kill this one, kill that one, come down here, kill this pack, over here, kill this pack, and then even kill that pack up there, this pack, then these over here, and then kind of wrap back around into this spot right here, and you'll basically be at the beginning of the rotation again, killing a ton of mobs. Now, what I mean about that boss earlier? So basically, there's two events that happen, although one's a lot less common event, which is the actual boss. Now, since this is a Elvia Calpheon spot, you have the three main bosses that spawn. You don't really have to worry about the actual bosses themselves. All you gotta know is they're basically just a big, flesh chicken that doesn't really do anything. You basically just hit it a bunch and then it will die, and then it will have a higher chance at dropping rare items, and you'll also get a buff that will basically just make you do a ton more damage to these general mobs. And you'll know that when you get the boss, because the screen will kind of go darker and there will be a giant circle around your area and a bunch of minions will spawn in. You kill the minions until the boss spawns, and then you kill the boss. Now, the other event, although I'm not getting very lucky at actually getting the event, is basically when you are killing these packs, there is a small chance to get a event to spawn. And you'll know the event spawns because you'll get a circle around the floor where you just killed the mobs. And when that happens, basically just a bunch of these mobs and a elite version of those mobs will spawn in at a higher rate. Personally, what I recommend doing is if it spawns in on this pack, just keep doing the rotation, because once you get back around to the pack, they'll all be grouped up in the middle, so they're super easy to kill. Now, once you do that one rotation, you just want to keep doing it over and over and over again. So basically what I mean by that is if I do this event here, I do a lap around, I kill all the mobs, and then I keep going, and then I go back and the mobs will be there again. You keep doing it for like 3 or 4 laps. Sometimes you'll actually get like an elite fighter, which is basically like a mini boss in a way, that you can then kill to get even more loot. That's basically the whole gist of the spot. Now, for my personal opinion, because in these videos I'm also going to give you my opinion on the spot, I still think that this is a fun grind spot. There is a ton of mobs, which make it really fun to actually kill the mobs, and it doesn't have like a ton of debris. That's a big thing for me, as at least as Zerker, is like if there's a ton of little sticks and stuff to run over, it's really annoying because you kind of get stuck on everything. But this spot is pretty decent. I mean, you have this spot over here, but everything else is pretty, in the open, really easy to navigate. Like I said, the mobs are fun to kill. There's a ton of mobs, and you do get a ton of trash. You get the rare drops every once in a while with the distos and the spares, which is really nice. So I highly recommend this spot if you're in that 280 AP range. And even if you are higher and you just really don't feel like hassling with tapping debos and stuff like that, I still think Primal Giants is a great spot, netting you between 1 to 1.4 build, depending on your class and how efficient you are at the spot. Yeah, I hope you guys did like this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And remember that I will be posting in the description the Agris sheet that I will link with the credit to the person, and also the other sheet for the AP stuff, because every spot in the game does have an AP cap. So make sure you look at that in the description so you know exactly what you're doing and what stuff you need to get. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.